Hi guys, it's Christine here from CM Creations at Dr. Art. Welcome back to my studio. Today we are finishing the character, the Crystal Princess. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix when you have an accident. We'll see how this now looks messy and it's not as clean as it was. And you can't tell it's a princess anymore. Well, that's what happens when you have an assistant who likes to go rogue. And no, I'm not talking about Gina, my regular assistant. Say hi.
Hi guys.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna continue. For this video, we'll just be using acrylic markers. But for all the other steps, we used tea bag, we used acrylic markers, we used Copic markers, which are a refillable marker that uses alcohol ink, and we use a stencil from the thermal printer. So now we're just gonna do the finishing touches, and don't worry, I will be redoing this properly with the way I wanted it to turn out. So let's get started. So we're just gonna take the yellow to finish the background. So yeah, this is what I would call, normally if I was happy with it, I'd call it a happy accident. But this is just a character that we're gonna have to use, because otherwise it's a waste of time and a waste of materials. So if you're like me and you're working with an assistant, make sure, if they're new and you don't know them that well, even though you want to be nice, give really specific instructions, because then this will happen. Or wait till you work with someone who's familiar with your style and knows how to communicate with you about what you're doing. Okay, I think we've got the background as good as we're gonna get it. Here. And remember, with acrylic markers, they dry just as fast as regular acrylics. So it takes, and I don't think these are refillable, although there are such things as refillable markers for acrylic, but they're a lot more tricky to fill. So if I had to recommend getting an art supply that was refillable, I would recommend Copics. Now they are expensive, but they last really well and they really transition smoothly. Okay, so we're gonna switch to the dress.
What color should we?
We're gonna use pink and purple. So we'll start with pink just to outline from the eraser. So here's or not eraser, the stencil. Here's a tip: when you start with these types of markers, you have to get the paint moving before it'll actually work, because the tip is quite there, and when I first opened it, I didn't realize, so I didn't use these for years because I didn't know what I was doing. And these had been sitting in my drawer for like maybe half a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're just gonna outline to get rid of some of that purple stencil. However, it does make a great shadow for portraits because we all have some purple in our skin. So I'm just gonna outline this, bring some of that back shape that got lost. And then I'm gonna go over this a little bit. And that takes up some of the negative space to give her more of a shape and form. Now, technically, pink and purple don't go together, but when it comes to color, I like to break color theory because that's half the fun. But you could do pink and green or pink and blue because they technically, well, no, pink and green are more opposites, but that's if you want it to really pop. But I think green would just kind of ruin this with this background. So, gonna okay, this is great. The stencil is basically covered. Now we're not going to be able to do that for the face because markers just don't have, they have more of an opacity than acrylics do. And opacity means like how see-through something is or how opaque something is. So we're gonna end with the pink here, but that pops with the yellow. And we're gonna just add some purple highlights and then we will be done. And pro tip, I don't know how to clean these and I don't even know if you can, but if you do know, please let me know in the comments. That would be great. Alright, and we're done. We have salvaged this to the best of our ability here. So for more character designs like this, make sure to like and subscribe and to see new creations like Dr. Bite, and please follow us on Facebook. Bye guys!